I think everything is ready. Now all I have to see is what poor soul had to end up with this casket. Sam? Sam, train whistle? Oh my, oh, Sam! Sam, you are as dead as a doornail! Sam! Oh my, what, how? Sam, you, oh, I don't understand. Oh, Sam, you're there and I'm here and you're dead and rich. And I'm poor as a church mouse. Oh, Sam, I'm going to be sweeping floors and dusting caskets until the day that they put me in the ground. But you, Sam, why? I don't understand that.
Ruby, are you about finished?
Uh,
Are you okay?
oh, yes, I'm fine, sir. Yes, I'm fine.
Well, did you brew the sweet tea and put it in the visitors' lounge with the glasses and knives?
Yes, everything is ready. The tea is in the tea room and everything's dusted and I'm just waiting for my grandson Jeremy to come by and take me home. Oh.
Ah, yes, I've seen that boy around town, usually mowing someone's grass or other odd jobs.
Oh, yes. He works hard and he's a very fine lad, sir. Yes, he is. He's saving to go to college next year. His dream is to be a doctor. And he has been saving since he was 12 years old. Oh, he is such a fine lad.
Ah, yes, well, I hope he met you. Now, finish up and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Oh, Sam. Oh.
Are you about finished and ready to go?
Yes, dear, I'm ready, but just give me a minute, okay? Okay, Sam. I'm going to say my goodbye right here. I sure do hope you can make it to heaven. But quite honestly, I think it would be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for you to pass through those pearly gates. But I knew you long ago, and you were a good man. So, I'll say goodbye, Sam. God bless. Okay, Jeremy, let's go. Oh.
We here at Sladen, Butcher, and Barry extend our sincerest condolences on your loss. I personally know the great sacrifices you have made in caring for your father in his declining years. You are a shining example to others of daughterly devotion and traditional family values. I'm sure your poor dead daddy appreciates your great sacrifices over the years and will reward you mightily in the reading of his last will and testament.
Yes, Mr. Slater, it has been a heavy cross to bear. But of course, being a loving and dutiful daughter, I could not have my father cared for by strangers. And I really don't care about all of his money. Well, not too much. I've always said that it's better to give than to receive. I'm just ready to put down this heavy load, knowing that he's sleeping in the arms of Lord.
alone with your father to collect your thoughts before the mourners begin to arrive. But before I go, does everything look all right? I mean, you did specify the plainest, least expensive casket in my showroom. And to have the funeral here to save money on transporting to the church. And also to waive the graveside service, since it would cost a little extra.
Yes, Mr. Slater, everything looks fine. I'm sure that Daddy would not have wanted an ostentatious display or a lot of money spent on his passing.
Well, you know that here at Sladen, Butcher and Barry, our motto is, your pockets won't hurt when we put you in the dirt. As long as you're satisfied, that's all that matters. Now, I'll just leave you for a few moments.
Well, you finally died, you old son of a bitch. I wish you did it 20 damn years ago. Nevertheless, I'm gonna enjoy spending your money on everything I've been denied. You pinching gambler. Yes, Beulah May is gonna travel the world. New clothes, a new car, fine hotels, and maybe a gentleman friend to share it all with. Yes, you're dead, but I'm finally going to live. Oh, I wish you was here to see the cheap-ass casket I got for the cheapskate that you were. I'd bury you in a cardboard box if that were legal.
Oh, Sam, I am gonna miss you. You and your little blue pills. Even at your age, I could count on you every Saturday night.
Bender.
I know, Ida. I was surprised when she moved back to town after her last divorce. Just started up with her old place, just like old days.
Sleep with anything that had a heartbeat and a wallet.
I wonder how many husbands she's had.
You mean of her own?
Oh, Ida, don't make me laugh. I'll start laughing. I can't stop till tears run down my leg.
Oh, Gertie, control yourself. We both know that Betty Bender has been in more laps than a napkin. But just consider where we are and try to restrain yourself. You have such a trashy side that comes out at the worst times.
I'm sorry, Ida. You're right, of course. I just need to focus on somber, serious things, which should be easy since we're in a funeral home. By the way, why is your Uncle Sam wearing a pair of pajamas in his casket?
Oh, didn't you know? He made Beulah promise not to bury him in a suit and tie. Said he didn't want to go through eternity all choked up and uncomfortable.
But why pajamas?
Well, he told Beulah that he wanted to be buried the way he liked to sleep, so he could rest through all eternity. Beulah told me he always slept naked. So the pajamas were kind of a compromise, because she couldn't bear to put him in the ground without a stitch. What I'm wondering is, who Uncle Sam's going to leave all that money in that big old house to? Beulah will get most of everything, of course, but I figure he's worth millions. He's never spent much of anything on anything or anyone, and including me, his favorite niece. Oh, I do hope there's a little remembrance for me in his will. Not that I expect anything, mind you, but I sure could use a little nest egg now that George is gone.
Have you heard from George lately? Has he filed for divorce or anything?
Yeah, I heard from him. He sent me a postcard from Las Vegas with a "sure glad you're not here" message scribbled on it, and a final divorce decree. I guess I'm a free woman about town now, Gertie.
Well, you know I'd rather staple my tongue to the roof of my mouth than talk about someone. But that George, he was never worthy of you.
I know. I used to tell him that all the time. Hey there, Beulah.
Hey.
I'm so sorry about Uncle Sam. I know you're just devastated about his passing. You've been taking care of him all these years, never given a thought to what you want out of life. No, you poor, poor thing. You've just been living in that big old house and driving that big old blue Cadillac down to the Piggly Wiggly and maybe getting down to the best little hair house every now and then for a perm or color touch-up. Never having to work or slave at a job all day and just having your financial needs all taken care of.
Hold on, cousin. It wasn't all fun and games. Daddy was frugal. Well, not so much frugal as careful. Well, not so much careful as tight. Actually, you know what? He was pretty damn stingy. That describes him very well. But of course, being a good Christian woman, I never thought it right to look too prosperous. Any extra money should be used to do the Lord's work.
Amen.
Oh, I know, but you gotta admit he had property all over the county and money invested in just about every business coming and going, and now that he's gone, you can live pretty high on the hog if you want to. And I just want you to know that if you ever need a traveling companion to exotic places like Graceland or Dollywood, well, I'll go anywhere you need me.
That's right, Beulah. Anytime you need anything at all, you just call on Ida and me, and we'll come running. By the way, you know I'd rather burn my tongue with a red-hot poker than talk about someone. But blazing and tricked out in all her tacky jewelry. That harlot shouldn't be coming around good God-fearing Christians like us.
Yes, I saw her. And truth be told, I think that her and Daddy have been carrying on ever since she moved back in town. Now, I know you two won't say anything about this, but it has been bothering me for a long time.
Oh, honey, I'll look so sealed and I've thrown away the key. You know I'd rather cut out my tongue with a rusty stick knife than betray a confidence. By the way, what do you mean they've been carrying on? I mean, your daddy's old enough to be her daddy.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's been going to see her every Saturday night because he would get a good shower, get cleaned up and shaved, and he would put on a heavy dose of English leather cologne.
Do they even make that stuff anymore?
Oh, God, they must. Oh, he bought every ounce available back in the 1970s because he reeked of it every Saturday night. Anyways, where was I?
You were saying how your daddy got her cleaned up and went to see Betty Bennett every Saturday night.
Yes, and I'm just so certain, since he was so proud that he quit drinking back in 1997, that if he said he was going to go get on a bender, he didn't bet it.
Now it looks like she's getting up and moving this way.
Excuse me, Miss Stringwhistle. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I don't know if you remember me.
I know who you are, you daughter of Babylon. You're the hussy who's been taking advantage of my dear daddy for years now. You should be ashamed of yourself coming into this funeral parlor amongst good church-going people to flaunt your forward ways.
Why don't you just stay away from us, you cheap piece of trailer park trash? All you ever wanted from my Uncle Sam was his money.
I do not need Sam's money. I am fine on my own. My mama always said, if you can't find a man with $1 million, find you 1,000,000 men with $1 each. And don't you get all hoity-toity with me, miss my legs are tied together at the knees. Everybody in town knows when the UPS man comes to your house, he ain't just delivering a package.
Well, I never.
I bet you didn't, because why did your husband scurry off to Las Vegas for a quickie divorce? Men are like linoleum floors. If you lay them right the first time, you can walk all over them for years. Excuse me, ladies. I'm going outside where the air ain't so sanctified.
Hey, Beulah. Look, there's Ken Carpenter. Some people say he's your half-brother.
He's half something, but he ain't my brother. So you better not be spreading that nonsense. My daddy married my mama, and I am his only legitimate child and heir.
Oh, I know. But you gotta admit, he's one good-looking hunk of man.
If I wasn't such a lady, that's one stud that could nail me. Oh, I can feel the heat when he walks into the room.
Oh, there you go being trashy again.
Oh, Anna, I'm sorry. It's just, don't look there, ladies. He's looking this way. Maybe we should go to the visitors' lounge for some sweet tea. Mr. Slater always has it on hand during visitation.
Well. Look at you. How about it, old man? You know, some people say you look better alive. Not me. I think you look pretty damn good right where you are. And you know something? You're gonna look even better 6 feet under tomorrow. You never acknowledged me as your son. And even my own mama would never admit it. And I had to live with the shame all these years. The boy without a father. Don't worry, Dad. Am I gonna settle for a big piece of what you leave behind? When they read that will tomorrow. Yup, I'm gonna pay a few debts, spend the rest of my life on cruise control.
My, Ken Carpenter.
Hello, Betty.
I haven't seen you around in a while. Where you been keeping yourself, lover?
Oh, no, don't you call me lover. You know that was a long, long time ago when I was just a boy. And you didn't seem much older than me at the time.
Oh, go on. I was only 1 year ahead of you in high school. And you know, I am still the hottest thing in this town in a short skirt.
You
And I
wish.
think that you are trying to pass off as younger than you really are. You know? Because I know Shelley down at the Best Little Hair House, she ain't dyeing just women's hair anymore. Well, I'd like to prove a thing or two to you if you'd like to get out of here and go somewhere.
Again, you wish. This? Oh, Can I picture this a few years down the road? You know, you're going to end up in that nursing home. Oh, I can see it now. You're going to be running around, throwing your nightgown up in front of every old man in there yelling, super sex, like fashion yo goodies. And you know what, kid? They're going to say, Sue?
I don't think there's any reason to be mean right now, because this time tomorrow, you'll be declared the legitimate son of Sam's train whistle. You'll walk away with a pot full of money, and you can leave this town for good. And you do really well to take Miss Betty with you, because you know there's a lot of miles left on this little roadster.
Well, I sure hope you got some fix-a-flat. Because this chassis's beginning to drop. And woo-wee! Is this upholstery looking pretty worn? Me? I'm looking for a new model of something under the hood. That ain't sad. When everybody knows I'm String Whistle's son, I'll have this whole damn town eating out of my left hand saying, yes, sir, Mr. Carpenter. And, no, sir, Mr. Carpenter. Well, what can I do for you, Mr. Carpenter, sir? I flip them all the bird, and I'm driving out of town on my brand new car and never, ever coming back.
If you think that's how this is going to go out, you have got your cornbread not done in the middle. You and me are always going to be just another piece of trash in this town.
What? Please! At least I won't be an old, faded, washed up piece of trash to be kicked in the gutter and washed away in some sewer. Now, if you excuse me, I want to go spend some time with my daddy. Woman.
Mr. Tam! Mr. Tam! They said you was dead, and they was right. You deader than a piece of Peggy Stopper. Well, you ain't got as many holes as a piece of Stopper. That's probably because they sewed them all up. But anyway, Mr. Sam, you know these people in this town, they always say I'm a few bricks shy of a load, but you always acted like I had all the bricks I need.
Well, hello, Woody. I see you've come to pay your final respects to Mr. Strange.
It's not Mr. Stringwhistle, it's Mr. Stan. And yet, I came to say goodbye and tell him I'm going to miss him and tell him I'm going to miss our little talks.
Ah, your little talks, huh? Well, I guess you and Mr. Sam did spend a lot of time together. Did y'all talk about the weather and fishing and how the grass grows?
Oh yeah, we talked about that and other stuff like the things people do in this town, and we even talked about you, Mr. Slater.
Really? What would Mr. Sam have to say about me?
Oh, well, he said you got a nice car, and he talked about how you helped Miss Butterworth when her husband died, and oh yes, she said you're always serving sweet tea in the visitors' lounge so people don't get too dried out from talking. And yeah, and he always wondered how you had enough money to have an offshore bank account in the Cayman Islands.
Huh? Why would he say that I have an offshore bank account?
I don't know. I guess because it's true. Mr. Slater, sir, Mr. Slater, it's been awfully hot today, and on these hot days, me and Mr. Sam, we always had us some cold ice cream. You got any ice creams?
Yes, Woody. I keep some ice cream sandwiches in the freezer in the kitchenette, just in case the parents bring children to visitation. It's just through the visitors' lounge. Help yourself.
Ooh, Mr. Slater, sir, ice cream sandwiches is my favorite kind of ice cream. Now I know why Mr. Sam likes you so much.
Well, hello, Charlie's Angels.
Hi, Ken.
So I'm sorry to see you under these sad circumstances, but I do gotta tell y'all something. All three of you look like a piece of, good God, wrapped up with some have mercy with the side of,
Mr. Carpenter, you always know exactly what to say to make a woman feel you're swell. You're swell. Feel special.
I know exactly what you mean, Miss Gertie. I just try and make every woman I meet feel that swell. And how about you, Miss Ida, Miss Beulah? Is everything going all right in your world?
Yes, Mr. Carpenter, given these circumstances, we're doing quite fine. Now, what brings you out to my daddy's visitation?
Oh, come on now. I'm sure you've heard the rumors through the years that we're related by blood. So I had to come out and pay my respects to my daddy, too.
Oh, so sweet. Thank you. Listen, don't count your chickens or my daddy's money before it's hatched.
Now, sister, is that any way to talk to your newfound brother from another mother? Well, I think I'm going to go sample some of Mr. Slater's sweet tea. Something stronger if I can find it.
Well, that was rude and crude and only to be expected from someone as uncouth as Ken Carpenter.
But did you see his eyes? They're so dreamy and they seem to see into my very soul.
Oh, Gertie, wake up and smell the coffee. That man is a cheap piece of man trash, and he's no better than Betty Bender.
God, those are some good ice cream sandwiches. So good I had 3. Mom always said I shouldn't have that many ice cream sandwiches or I might get sick, but she's not here anymore and she can't tell me that. Hi, Miss Ida, Miss Beulah, and Miss Gertie. How y'all ladies doing?
Woody, we're all sad.
Oh, about your daddy being dead and all?
Yes, Woody, And I'm sure you'll miss Daddy too, because you were over at the house all the time visiting Daddy.
Yes, I'm gonna miss Mr. Sam something awful. He was one of my bestest friends, and we would talk about all kinds of things, this, that, money and such.
Daddy talked to you about money?
Oh yeah, all the time. Mr. Sam said, a penny earned is a penny saved, and that same penny invested can make even more money. Now, he liked getting money a lot more than he liked spending, and he said he was going to leave someone a whole lot richer than anybody could imagine.
Really? How much money did he talk about?
Well, he said you could count the grains of sand on St. George Island a lot easier than you could count his dollar bills.
Really? Well, you certainly remember an awful lot of things that you and Daddy talked about, don't you?
Well, Mr. Sam said everybody's got a photographic memory. Some just don't have the film.
Well, you're a living proof of that, Woody.
Thank you, Miss Ida. And me and Mr. Sam, we talked about other stuff too, like living and dying.
But Woody, you're a young man. You don't have to worry about dying anytime soon.
I ain't gonna die. I'm gonna live forever.
Really?
Yeah. So far, so good. Well, anyway, ladies, I gotta go because there's another ice cream sandwich with my name on it, and I don't want it to get too lonesome. So I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Okay, we'll see you later, Woody. God, listen to that boy just wears me out. He was over at the house all the time visiting Daddy, and he would just talk and talk and talk. And there is a silver lining to my daddy's death, is that I would have to listen to that simple boy drone on and on about whatever crosses his adult brain. And another thing too, I just found out that Daddy has been paying all of his bills and his mama's before that, ever since that adult boy was born. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that shit's gonna stop first thing Monday morning.
And you both know I'd rather hot glue my tongue to my left cheek than talk about someone. But that boy only has one oar in the water.
If brains were leather, he wouldn't have enough to saddle a June bug. But still, he was close to my dearly departed Daddy, and he seems to know a lot more about what Daddy was thinking here at the end than anybody else. And as tired as I am of his constant chatter, I think it'd be best if we went and got us some more sweet tea and see if he has anything else to say.
Have you ever seen Woody with a shirt on?
Boy, that was a certain change there, man. Oh, yes, women, that's good stuff. Yeah. Well, man, it's time for me to pay my respects to the dearly departed. You know his daughter, Beulah May, she's a very devout Christian, and she had hopes that she would meet up with him in heaven once she passed, but between you and I think that's a bit of a stretch for Sam Strangler. But nevertheless, I shall try to preach the best deal I can, and I can only hope that the dear Lord sees fit to let him walk through those pearly gates. And I really hope that he left a few extra funds for maybe a new parsonage or a new chapel, or even better yet, establishing a vacation fund for this poor, hard-working minister.
I know what you mean, Pastor. I was here hoping there'd be something in the left for the town to help with a budget shortfall or a new waterfront park or raise for city employees. Now, Sam Strainwhistle never did much for his town when he was alive. I hope we could get a little bit out of it when he's dead.
That sounds pretty cold, Mayor Clark. You know, I know you two didn't see eye to eye politically, but the man is dead after all.
He couldn't die soon enough to suit me. Why, the only time I heard of that man giving a political contribution to any candidate was to someone who was running against me.
And yet, you won again, and again, and again.
Even when he would tell anybody who would listen, if I was on fire, he wouldn't piss on me to put it out.
Now, Mayor, this isn't the time or the place to be speaking ill of the deceased.
All right, let's talk about that pretty and hot trout little Betty Bender sitting over there all by her lonesome.
She sure is a sweet little thing, isn't she? Mm-hmm. You know, I remember that her bringing her big bottles of lemonade when we were working on the fellowship hall of the church.
Those weren't bottles, Pastor. Those were big old jugs.
Ah, boy, I sure remember her. And those great big jugs.
Oh, hey, Mayor Clark. Hey, Pastor Need. My word, hey, you hear to say about Mr. Sam too? He was one of my bestest friends and talking buddies.
Well, bless your heart, Woody. Would bring me a little sunshine into a dying man's last days. You know, William, there's a special corner in heaven for simple people.
Well, simple is and simple does, but I ain't gonna be in no corner. No sirree, Bob. I'm gonna be right inside the pearly gates, close to Mr. Sam again, so we can talk about this and that and all the secret stuff people do in this town. And you know what? He even talked about you two getting your just dessert.
Really?
Yeah, now, I don't know if he was talking about cake, cream pie, or ice cream, but if it's just dessert, I want some of that.
How are you, Woody?
I'm fine as a hair on a frog's leg, Miss Betty. My, you sure do look pretty. You get all dressed up for Mr. Sam too?
I certainly did. He was a special friend to us both.
Oh, yes, ma'am. He liked you a whole heck of a lot. He said you was always doing special stuff for him and that you was a real lady.
He called her a real lady? His life should have much been running sooner than I thought.
Well, she is a real lady. She's pretty and kind and sweet, and she's the real deal. Not just a pretty face hiding a witch deep inside. And besides, I don't like witches, because they creep.
That's right, Mayor Clark, a lady. And a lady who knows who likes to be tickled well with a feather boa. And what men in town like to go to Tallahassee to the Booby Bungalow for a night of shameless depravity. Well, it's getting time for me to go downtown and get a few beers before I slip into someone else's bed. I'll say goodnight now.
Good night, Miss Betty, and sleep tight. And remember what Mr. Sam always said, if you can't be good at it.
Good night, Woody. And good night, gentlemen, but I use that term loosely.
Hey, Mr. Ken.
Hey, Woody, how you doing, bud?
I'm good. You here to say goodbye to Mr. Sam too?
Oh, yes, Woody, you know he was my real daddy, so I had to come out and see him, too.
Oh, Mr. Sam, he talked about you all the time.
Oh, yeah? And what did my daddy say about his only son?
Well, he would say over and over and over again how everybody in this town thought that you weren't worth 2 cents, but he thought you were worth 2 cents.
God bless his sweet dead heart.
Yep. God bless Mr. Sam.
You okay, Woody?
been eating those ice cream sandwiches, and I think I'm gonna get squirts. You might want to back up, because I think I'm gonna splatter Mr. Sam and everybody in here. Cheese stuff going down. Listen, y'all, I really gotta go. I'll see you later.
Good Lord Jesus and Dale Earnhardt Jr. I tell you, that boy sure is missing a few tools from his shed. Oh well, I think I better go too. Boy, I'm gonna need a good night's sleep so I can dream about how many women the future holds.
Just desserts. Now, I wonder what he meant by that.
Don't you just worry about that man, Clark. Sam Springwhistle is dead, and there shall be no retribution from the grave, huh? Now, I need to be running on home and work on my sermon for next week, which will be about how the meek will inherit the earth. It's anybody's guess who's going to inherit his fortune, though.
I'll walk you out to the parking lot. I need to get home too and cook. That is, say that is, work on the town folks.
Well, it looks like everyone's gonna go home.
Well, it is getting late, and tomorrow's a big day. I'm sorry we didn't learn any more from that simpleton Woody. That boy is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine.
Y'all know I would rather nail gun my bottom lip to my forehead than talk about someone. But that boy's so slow, he could throw himself on the ground and miss.
Ladies, don't talk about that poor, sweet, simple soul. He was close to my dearly departed daddy. And besides that, he knows secrets. Jesus. Well, good night, Ma. I'm going to go say good night to Mr. Slater before he closes up.
There you are, Miss Beulah. You look drop dead gorgeous. Is there anything else I can do for you tonight?
Well, yes, there is, sweetheart. Can we go back into the casket showroom and play the mortician in the course? Just like last weekend.
We sure can. As a matter of fact, I just got in a brand new mahogany double wide coffin with the wings of the angel satin liner that should provide more fun with less friction. Remember our motto, coffin's so nice, you'll want to die twice.
Oh, well, just remember that it's my turn to be the corpse. So that means that you gotta do all the damn work this time.
Hello? Hi, Ida. It's me. I just thought I'd call you before you went to bed. We might talk about what happened tonight. You know I'd rather punch a hole through my tongue with a drill press than talk about someone. But there were some things I thought about after I came home.
Like what, Gertie? It's getting late. I was just getting ready for bed. I'm tired and my joints are stiff.
Honey, that's because you're rolling them too tight. Now, back to that.
been acting a little bit strange, but her daddy just died, and she's gonna inherit all his money and become the richest woman in town. And you know, with great wealth comes great responsibility. She's gonna have to worry about all kinds of things, like which dresses to wear, what shoes look good, and going to the restaurants after the early bird specials are over with.
Well, I don't know about all that hoity-toity stuff. I'm just wondering why Mr. Strainwhistle's lawyer left a letter underneath my door saying I had to stay after the funeral for the reading of the will tomorrow. Oh, Ada. Maybe he left me something.
Well, maybe. I had a letter under my door, too, but I kind of expected it since I'm Uncle Sam's favorite niece and blood family. Oh, I sure could use a little help now that George left me high and dry with that quickie divorce in Las Vegas. Anyway, it'll be interesting to sit together and see what happens tomorrow.
You're right, Ada. Well, before I go to bed, I need to smoke some of my medicinal marijuana.
Well, do you have a prescription?
Well, not really. See, I self-medicate for my nervous condition. See, I heard that marijuana relieves pressure for those glaucoma patients. And even though I don't have the glaucoma, I could still use some relief from the pressure.
But it's not legal in Florida. Where do you get it?
Well, you know Jeremiah Jones, O'Grady Jones' great-grandson.
You mean that boy with the speech impediment?
Yeah, you know, Jeremiah's a dealer and a friend when you're in need. And I never understand a single word he says, but he sure has some mighty fine weed.
Well, okay then. You go on and take your medicine, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.
Hello, this is Ken.
Hello, lover. I'll bet you could guess who this is.
Damn it, Betty, is this you? What do you want? I'm getting ready to hit the sack. Hell, the sheep are gonna count me tonight.
Going to bed alone? All cold and alone? Are you sure you don't want a little company, what with your daddy dying and all?
Listen here, Sugarfoot. I told you already. You're just a blast from the past, and you don't tickle my elbow anymore. So what the hell do you want so I can say no and get to bed already?
Well, I just wanted you to know that I got a letter from that handsome lawyer, Thorben Maston, telling me that I should be at the official reading of the will tomorrow after the funeral. Because I think that your daddy is going to leave me a little something.
Perhaps he did, for services rendered. A little something to buy a beer and shed a tear. Now, unless you have any other earth-shattering news, good night.
Oh, don't you leave Betty Bender out of this so fast, you arrogant ass. I'm going to need me a little joint if I'm going to get any sleep tonight at all. Where's my papers? Oh. All out? Oh, when I need it most, what am I going to do? Where's that Bible, that Gideon Bible that I got from that terrible motel last week? You know, this paper's really thin. I wonder. Of course, that would make me a holy roller.
and all ready for bed?
Yes, ma'am. I was wondering, Mama, that letter from Mr. Stranglish's attorney that was here when we got home, what do you think it means?
Oh, I don't know, dear. I don't know what it means. I just hope he leaves you something for college for next year. Well, now, you spent the last year or so with him doing his mowing of his lawn and everything. What do you think it might mean?
Well, I know that most every time I was working on his yard, Mr. Sam always sat on the porch and watched me. And he sometimes called me down towards the middle of the job for some sweet tea or lemonade.
So you all did some talking then?
Yes, ma'am. We talked about school and my plans for the future, and he asked most of the time how you were getting along. And he sometimes asked me about Daddy and Mama before the accident. But sometimes Woody Stump was there, and we talked about fishing and what kind of bait he used. And oh yeah, he asked me if I ever went wild crafting in the woods. You know, hunting plants to eat, picking blackberries and such. Said he always liked the woods when he was a boy.
Yes, I do remember he did. Yep. Well, off to bed with you. Tomorrow we'll be here soon enough and we'll just find out what's going to happen to both of us.
I hope it's not a telemarketer. Hello, this is Woody Stump. You better speak up or you can kiss my rump.
Hello, Woody. This is Mr. Baskin, Sam Stringwhistle's attorney.
Oh, yeah, I know you. Mr. Sam talked about you sometime. He said you was honest even if you was a lawyer. And you're not like the other 93% of lawyers that get the rest of them a bad name.
Well, thank you, Woody. I guess that's a compliment. Anyways, Mr. Sam wanted to make sure that you're going to stick around the funeral tomorrow for the reading of his will.
Oh, Mr. Maston, you're going to have to hold on just a second. I've had the squirts all night long, and I think I got to go again. Hold on just a second. Hold on. False alarm. Thought I was going to have to squirt the dirt on the way to the outhouse.
That would have been unpleasant, Woody.
Well, not as long as you bury it. But anyway, about tomorrow, if Mr. Sam wants me to stay after the funeral, I will, cause when your bestest friend asks you to do something, you just do it. Ooh, Mr. Master, I gotta go. Bye.
Now you going, Woody? Okay, well, you can get that all to your system, Woody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Man, have I got to increase my rates. I think that just about does it for Sam's guest list for tomorrow. Now, if I can just be sure that minister out at the roadside chapel of the Forbidden Apple knows to stick around for the reading of the will. I got a hold of his secretary, and we talked about as best I could, but I just couldn't get past her knees. Oh, well, anyways, I'll just catch him tomorrow and make sure he doesn't rush off. Huh.
Woo! That Mr. Slater is sure proof that still waters run deep. He knows how to butter my butt and call me a biscuit. He said some pretty strange shit. I might have to take him with me after I get my inheritance. Now, about tomorrow, it's gonna be hard as hell not to laugh out loud when they put Daddy in the ground and I'm the richest woman in Apalachicola. I might have to think of a couple sad things to help me squeeze out a tear or two. Maybe Maybe I should practice. Daddy! Why are you leaving me? Leave me all alone. Okay, let me try that again. You know what? Maybe I'll try harder tomorrow.
I would like to remind all of our visitors and mourners here at the Sledum Butcher and Barry that it was a final wish of Mr. Stringwhistle that in lieu of flowers, he would appreciate donations made to the Panhandle Players. These donations can be in the form of purchasing tickets to our 50-50 raffle, available during our intermission, followed by our drawing of a winning ticket prior to tomorrow's funeral. You are all welcome to come up on stage and say your last goodbyes to Mr. Stringwhistle. Please form a line at the right entry of the stage. We have ushers to assist you. Thank you.
Highway 98. Where couples traveling from Cali to Appalachia often feel compelled to come on in and get hitched. It probably helps that we have a big blinking billboard sign right on the highway that says, "Wedding special, $25. That's the best deal in town." You know, since I officiate so many weddings, I often give some thought to who the ideal couple is. You know who pops to mind? Adam and Eve. You know, Adam never had to worry about Eve saying something like, "Well, of all the men I could have married." And Eve, she never had to worry about Adam saying something like, "My mom's a really good cook." That's enough humor. This is a serious and somber occasion, after all. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to join with Sam Stringwhistle and Eternity in a holy ceremony. Now, Sam and his wonderful daughter, Beulah May, were not active parishioners of our roadside chapel, the Forbidden Apple, but we always consider them to be members of our extended church community.
I like bananas.
Nevertheless, Sam Stringwhistle was a good man. Yes, a good man. He was a generous man. Oh, I sure hope so. And he was an upstanding member of our community. Well, as you can see, not at the moment. And we also owe him a big thank you for his service, since he was a Vietnam veteran as well. You know, Sam and his wonderful daughter, Beulah May, came to pay me a visit around Christmas time. Seemed like Sam had a favor to ask of me. He says, "Pastor Sleaze?" I had to stop him. I says, "No, it's Pastor Needs, not Sleaze." I don't know where he gets this word sleaze from. No, I bet you I corrected him 100 times. Oh well. He said, "Pastor," he says, "when I die, I'd like you to have a piñata at my funeral, so people could have a little fun." I thought that was a little odd, but then though he went on to say that he wanted this piñata filled with bumblebees, hornets, wasps, and yellow flies, so people didn't have too much fun. No, that was the kind of cruel and wicked sense of humor he possessed. But we're not here to pick up his many flaws. We are here to lighten that heavy load off his stooping and aging shoulders. Now, if there is anyone present who has an objection to Sam Stringwhistle walking through those pearly gates, speak up now, or forever hold your peace. Sit your ass down. Okay. First Timothy, chapter 6, verse 7. The Bible says, "We brought nothing into this world, and it is certain that we shall carry nothing out." You know, I sure hope Sam Stringwhistle remembered that biblical passage when he was writing out his will. You know, people often tell me, "Pastor, your funerals tend to be on the brief side," and I will acknowledge that's true. And then they often ask me, "Well, Pastor, how do you know just how long to make a funeral?" I tell them this. I says, "Well, it's kind of like a woman's skirt. It has to be long enough to cover the essentials, but short enough to keep everybody interested." Now, on that note, I'd like you to all join with me in wishing Sam Stringwhistle a lovely journey through those pearly gates. And I'd like to have everyone in here, everyone, wish Sam Stringwhistle a lovely journey by giving him a big amen. So on the count of 3, I want everybody to give him a big amen. 1, 2, 3, amen! Thank you. Amen. Now, we're going to sing one of Sam Stringwhistle's favorite songs. Shall we gather at the river?
by the river, and the place to be for us to fall. Where we sinners once were gathered, wanting our blues at the shore. Yes, we'll gather at the river, look at the Coca-Cola River. Gather with our friends at the river and roll our liquor bottles in. On the banks of the flowing river and the Apalachicola Bay, we will promise to quit drinking and walk the straight side of narrow every day. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the Apalachicola River. Gather with our friends at the river and throw our liquor bottles in.
I have spoken with Mr. Stringwhistle's attorney, Mr. Thornton Maston, and as all of you already know, it was a final wish of the deceased that his will be read and its provisions followed immediately after the funeral message. Mr. Maston agrees with me, though, that we should have a short break before continuing. I will remind everyone there is sweet tea in the adjoining yard.
I just hope that my beautiful, darling, sweet, precious, caring, loving daddy up in heaven right now, looking down on me, and knows that he is breaking my heart. Why are all of these people here? Is he giving some of his money to all of these people? Sure, a little bit to the church and a little bit to the city. You know, Strangwhistle Boulevard has a real good ring to it. But Ken Carpenter and Betty Bender, the two biggest whores in town, it's just more than a soul can bear.
Oh, there, cousin. I'm sure Uncle Sam wanted me to be here, since I was his favorite niece and blood family. But all these other people, no, it just doesn't seem right.
You both know I'd rather tie my tongue in a knot and swallow it than put into your business. I don't know why I'm here, but the letter from the Lord said to come, so here I am. Y'all deserve so much more than me, but a little something would be a great help.
I'm not talking about you two, of course. But I don't see why everyone else gets a piece of my damn pie.
Oh, cousin, don't get your panties in a twist. Maybe Uncle Sam is going to leave a little bit of something to everyone in this room. But remember, you and I are his only blood family. And when all this is said and done, you're going to be the richest woman in town.
that was a pretty short memorial service. If I wasn't sure he was dead, I would swear Sam String Whistle was alive and paying you for the word. Well, let's see, we're both here for the reason of the will. There's something coming out of all this.
You know, Mayor, I was certain that Sam String Whistle was going to leave a little something, actually a whole lot of something, to the church. You know, a little grease for those wheels as he walks through those pearly gates to claim his heavenly reward. Maybe a nicer car, just for church purposes.
Yes.
Oh, maybe a new parsonage. Or how about a hurricane-proof house on the beach in St. George Island?
Why, I know what you mean, Pat. I was hoping that he'd have something for the town, like, you know, a new park, a waterfront park. That'd be a few million in contracts that I would be awarding. Say, I wonder if my brother-in-law, who owns Billy Bob's Erections, could work with the town on getting I mean, our money to work with.
You know, Mayor, our fortunes are going to change. And that means the will.
Anybody seen Miss Betty? Oh, there she is. Miss Betty. Why do you think Mr. Sam wanted me here today?
Well, because he loved you and he knew you were one of his best friends.
Oh, yes, ma'am. He was one of my bestest friends in the whole world. When Mama died, you know, he paid my house bills and he invited me over to eat and everything, and he talked to me so I wouldn't get too long. I sure am gonna miss him today.
I'm going to miss him too. You know, we were very special friends.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I know he liked you a whole heck of a lot. He said you was like an angel living right here on earth.
Yes, well, I guess I'm just a fallen angel, Woody, and I just don't think I can climb back up into the clouds. I'm going to miss Sam because he treated me like I was someone who mattered in this world. Sure, it'd be nice to get a little money and start a business and not be dependent on a man or men to get by, but I don't want Sam's money. I'm just richer having had him in my life.
Well, Miss Ben, if I had the money, I'd give it to you so you could be one of those cloud walking angels.
You're so sweet. I know you would if you could, Woody. I think we better take a seat. It's time for the will to be read.
Okay, folks, if everyone could please be seated, I'd like to get started. Thank you. I'd like to read to you today the last will and testament of Mr. Samuel Stringwhistle, which reads as follows. I, Samuel X. Stringwhistle, resident of the city of Apalachicola, county of Franklin, state of Florida, being of sound mind, not acting under duress, and fully understanding the nature and extent of all my property and this disposition thereof, do hereby make, publish, and declare this document to be my last will and testament, and thereby revoke any and all the wills and codicils heretofore made by me. Now that we've got all that legal mumbo-jumbo out of the way, everyone in this room can consider the rest of what I'm about to say to be your last message direct from my lips. I want to thank you for being here. I'd like to think that you're mourning my passing, but I know that most of you are probably hoping to get a cut of what I'm leaving behind. Well, for whatever reason you're here today, I'm planning on making sure that my last wishes are made public and carried out by my attorney, Thorben Masson. First of all, I need to take care of some family business. I know that my daughter, Beulah May, is always talking about giving everything away to the poor. And while I question her true feelings on the matter, I can't just have her giving everything I've worked for, invested and saved to a bunch of blood-sucking leeches who are sure to latch onto her and bleed her dry after my death.
I'm leaving to the only two surviving children of my blood, my daughter and my son. Beulah May and Woody Stump.
What? That can't be right.
My house in a $5 million trust fund to be administered on their behalf to keep them and pay their living expenses as long as they will share and occupy the family home together until such time as each of them passes on to their reward.
Is Mr. Sam my long lost daddy? I don't have to live in that spooky house? Oh, that's S-T-E-R-Y, that's still scary. And I got a sister? Miss Beulah's my sister? Oh my God! Oh, we gonna have our breakfasts and our lunches and our dinners together. We're gonna be like cheese and grim.
So, in order for me to get my inheritance and live, I have to share it with simple Simon.
Oh, I'm not Simon, Miss Beulah. I'm your long-lost brother, Woody Stump. No, wait a minute. Stranglewhistle.
Oh.
From here on out, I'm gonna be Woody Stranglewhistle. We're gonna stay up late at night and find out the answers to all my questions, like, wait a minute, what happens if you get scared half to death twice? Listen up. Now, we all know the speed of light, but what's the speed of dark?
Oh, God, please take me down.
Disney, let's see what else Daddy has to say.
I figure that right about now, the King Carpenter is amazed to find out that he is not the son of my loins and he's rumored to be from one end of Apalachicola to the other. Well, he's not. And my attorney can provide DNA evidence that will prove that he's not. I did, however, like his mother a number of years ago, along with most men in town between the ages of 18 and 80. Out of my affection for her and my sorrow with the hard life she lived, I provided a monthly stipend to help her with Ken's upbringing. I hoped that her boy wouldn't turn out to be a sour disappointment, but I watched as she spent every dime I gave her and whatever she could earn to keep him out of jail and paid off his bar tabs and gambling debts. However, in good conscience, I can't leave the boy with nothing.
Wait one damn minute. Let me say something to Sam first. Yeah, you better leave me with something. That's the reason why I'm here. And I'm counting on you feeling just a little bit guilty over the life my mother had to live. Man, just leave me a few dollars so I can get a set of wheels and get the hell out of this one-horse town so I can make it to some bright lights in the big city to find my fortune.
I've heard it said all over this town that King Carpenter is not worth 2 cents, but I believe he is. So my attorney has an envelope to give Mr. Carpenter.
Sorry, keep your mind on it. That's why I'm here.
Which contains exactly 2 cents. Spend it in good health, you worthless bastard.
2 cents? Come on, man. I waited all this time for 2 cents. God, please. What the hell are you laughing at? 2 cents? Come on, man. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, just like the yoga teachers. You know what? I don't need your damn money. I'll always be Ken Carpenter, the 8th wonder of the world. Yeah, I said it. Guess nothing to do but sit and listen to Sam, what he has in store for the rest of you losers.
Mr. Carpenter, you can stay, but I do ask that no one else interrupt these proceedings. I guess now is about the time to finish up with family. To my niece, Ida Shillingsworth, only daughter of my deceased sister, Dixie Bell, I wish you all that you deserve from life. From the time you were a child, you have been the most backbiting nut to fall from our family tree. A horrible child and daughter who made your mother's life on earth a living hell. I do have to admit that you found a good, upright, and sensible man to marry you, and then you proceeded to crush the spirit plumb out of it. I've always had a soft spot for poor old George. Now here I go wandering off the path. Back to business. I leave $1 million tax-free tax dollars. To your husband, George Shellingsworth, with one condition. He will not collect 1 red cent until he has a final divorce decree in hand. May he spend every dime I'm leaving on himself, since I've arranged the funds so that you cannot touch them as part of any divorce settlement, while he'll be free to do so.
$1 million to George? And not one thing to me? Oh. I hope you rotten hell, you miserly old son of a bitch! Well, in the immortal words of my favorite country and western star, Miss Dolly Parton, this sure is a big bust. Oh, cousin, I sure hope you have some room for me in that big old house of yours. I'm not sure I can keep a roof over my head, what with these new circumstances.
And I, my cousin, keeper? I think not. I think it's every man, woman, and child, slut, and handy-capable person for themselves.
All right, ladies, you can discuss your differences later. There is more to this will. I leave $1 million to the roadside chapel of the Forbidden Apple to go with your church and parsonage, with the condition that they fire that worthless, lying, sanctimonious, embezzling sex pervert who currently stands behind their pulpit.
Wait a damn minute. I'm not a sex pervert.
Oh, yes you are, darling. You're so twisted, when it's time to bury you, they can just screw you into the ground.
You just shut that trashy little mouth of yours, Missy. Sex pervert. That's a big laugh and everything.
Hey! Don't you call this Betty names. Mr. Sam says you a sex pervert, you is. Enough said.
Thank you, Woody. Enough said. Now, if I may continue. I leave $1 million to the town of Apalachicola to build a recreational center for our town's youth.
Woo-wee! I know just the contractor for the job.
Just as soon as Mayor Cornelius Clark is removed from office. And I further require that not 1 red cent of the monies allocated for this project go to any person or company related to the current mayor. I also turned over documentation to the Florida Attorney General's office relating to embezzled funds, sweetheart contracts, and 3 separate numbered accounts in the Cayman Islands. I would venture that Mayor Clark's ass is grass, and the Attorney General, she's the lawnmower.
I believe I will say goodbye to you now. Goodbye.
Why, you're not going anywhere.
Oh,
I'm the sheriff of this town. You remember me? You're going with me. Get out of here. Get out of here right now. You're out of here.
Don't see that difference. You
Mayor or no mayor.
There isn't much left to read, folks. That please have everyone else with me. I hope that you didn't think I'd forget about you, Gertie. I've watched you grow up on the fringe of everything happening in town. I always thought you had a good side, and your father did save my life when we were stationed together in Vietnam. I promised him before he died that I would take care of you, and I hope that what I'm about to do will in some small way repay the debt that I owe. So, to the daughter of my long-deceased friend, Grady Gutherson, I leave $2 million, hoping that she now will have the ability to become a better person than she has been, spend it in good health and wealth.
Mr. Strangless, Mr. Maston, I'm speechless.
Well, it's about time, my friend. You know, you need to let me help you decide what to do with your money.
I don't think so, Adam. You know I'd rather sew my bottom lip to my forehead than talk about someone. But I don't think you're the kind of friend I need right now.
To my friend and partner in sin, Betty Bender, I leave the sum of $2 million with the sincere hope that she realizes what a truly good person she is and finds a way to use the money to earn a living, open a business, invest, or otherwise use it so that she is only dependent upon a man if she wants to be, not because she has to be.
Oh, Sam, you really were a good man. Oh, $2 million. I've got a great idea. Gertie, we got to talk after this is all over.
And to the two men I've never even met, Mr. Butcher and Mr. Berry, I leave the proof necessary to put Slatem away for years for illegal activities relating to their joint business venture. Slatem has been selling bodies that were meant to be cremated to several medical schools of questionable reputation in Tallahassee, Florida. An envelope of documented proof has already been provided to federal authorities.
It's my cue to get out of town right now.
Sorry, folks, you're not going anywhere. Guess what? You're coming with me, just like the mayor. Get out of here. Get out of here now. This is a good town.
Well, that should just about do it for the rest of this funeral. Well, where was I? Mr. Stringwhistle wanted to deliver his final bequeathals in his own voice, and this is a message he recorded at my office before his passing. I'll play it for you now.
How in the hell do they expect us old people to record something on a damn phone? I wish I had one of those cassette players, recorders, but I'm going to give this a try. Okay, here goes nothing. And last but not least, I want to leave something to Jeremy Butterworth, a fine young man who has a dream to become a doctor. A young man that I have come to know in the past few years during his weekly visits to tend my lawn and spend time sipping sweet tea on the porch with an old man who didn't gain wisdom until late in life. While I never had the pleasure of knowing Jeremy's father, I did know his grandmother Ruby many years ago. I knew her in a biblical sense. While I suspected a relationship with Jeremy, I couldn't prove nothing until I had his DNA tested from the blood sample left at my house after cutting himself while pruning my camellias. Ruby, why didn't you tell me that you were having my child? Speak up now. I'm waiting.
How could I? I didn't know I was with child till after you had gone into the army. And then Archie Butterworth agreed to marry me and said he would raise the child as his own. Stop all those tongues wagging in this town. And Archie was a good man. And he was a good father. And he was a very good grandfather.
Mama, do you mean to tell me that Mr. Sam, he's my real grandpa?
I'm sorry, dear. I should have told you and your father about Sam Stringwhistle, but I couldn't. And I've never wanted any of his money, Mr. Maston. I never wanted much of anything after he came back from the war, all hell-bent on not doing anything but making his fortune, and that was all.
Mrs. Butterworth, I spoke to Sam after he learned about your child and your grandchild, and he didn't want to rock your boat either. Maybe he just mellowed after all these years into a better person. Anyways.
I figure you and Thorben are about done, so here goes again. I forgive you, Ruby. You did a good job raising our boy and now our grandson. Jeremy is probably the best thing I ever had a part in creating. So I plan on leaving him $10 million to get him through medical school and set himself up in practice someday. Hopefully it will provide both you and him with a level of comfort to make up for years missed and gone. Yep, anyway, that about wraps it up, except for the rest of my estate, which I want divided between the Salvation Army and Alcoholics Anonymous. after liquidation of stocks, bonds, real estate, and other investments, that should be just about, oh, I don't know, round about $23 million or so. All right, that's it. Y'all can leave now.
All right, folks, before you leave, I do have one favor to ask. If you can please move your chairs. The Gideon's Bible Society is using our space today after we leave. They have to sort Bibles. There's been an apparent unexplained rash of missing Bibles at the local hotels. So if you would, please just move your furniture out of the way. Thank you. Congratulations.
Gertie, the more time I spend around you, the more I think you're my kind of people.
Really, Betty? Because I'm feeling it too. By the way, what you want?
Well, I'd like to propose a business proposal. And I thought about it last night while I was rolling a doobie.
You smoke marijuana? I mean, medicinal marijuana too? I just knew we had things in common. What you have in mind?
Well, I think that you and I should move to California, where we'll start our business, to help those poor conservatives who are in trouble when they need a little medicinal therapy. And to ease their guilt, we will package pre-rolled marijuana cigarettes with the scripture from Genesis 1, verse 29, printed on each joint, you know. And the Lord said, "Behold, I shall give you all the fruits, all the plants that yield seed on all of the earth, and all of the trees bearing fruit with seeds, and you shall use them for food. And we shall call them holy smokes."
That's a great idea, Betty. But doesn't the verse say, you shall have them for food? Doesn't that mean we should sell them cookies?
Oh, girl, I like the way you think. Cookies from the kingdom. Ah. Oh,
Now, you know I'd rather look at cactus than talk about some money. But when I heard about George getting all that money, I almost peed my pants.
you do.
Mr. Sam! I mean, Daddy. I just want to tell you I love you, and I'm going to miss you, and before I go, and they put you in the dirt, I want to sing you a song. Oh, this is going back to the song. Miss Baby left her glasses. And Mr. Slayton in the office. And I think that's going back. Yeah. Let's see what we got. Tell her I took a glass.
That sounds familiar.
I think I'm gonna fade that one for my open mic night gig at the Bowery Station. Well, see what else we got. Oh, this is I like this one too. This is a good one right here.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words and wisdom, let it be. And in my
I love you too, son, and I'm going to miss you.
Oh, no. Not yet.
We'd like to thank our stage manager and Miss Ruby Butterworth, Liz Sisson. River Sheridan playing Jeremy Butterworth. Tom Lockridge as Mayor Clark. Bobby Wachado playing Pastor D. Corbin Madsen as Corbin Maston. And introducing for his first time on the stage, Eric Olson as Kim Carpenter. And Joan Maddy as Betty Bender. Scott Wilson playing Mr. Slater. Gina Crozier as Gertie Gilkerson. Katie Davis playing Ida Shillingsworth. Megan Shiver as Beulah Straightwhistle. Roy Throlstad playing Woody Stump. And playing Mr. Sam Straightwhistle and the author of Secrets and Sweet Tea, Jerry Hurley. Secrets and Sweet Tea is directed by Judy Loftus. Assistant director, Tom Technical, Stage manager, Liz Sisson, light technician,